Captain Taeho Kim stood on the bridge of the massive warship and looked out at the stars. The UES Thunderstrike was the biggest ship humanity had ever built. It was 3 kilometers long and covered in thick armor plating. The ship looked ugly, compared to the smooth alien vessels, but it was built to fight and survive. Taeho had been captain for 2 years, but the ship had never seen real battle. The alien races in the galaxy thought humans were weak and primitive. They called Earth a backwater world and humans a minor species. Most aliens ignored humanity completely. This was about to change. The bridge doors opened and Commander So-Young Lee walked in. Her face was serious as she carried a data pad. "Captain, we just received a message from Earth Command," she said. "It's urgent." Taeho took the pad and read the message. His hands started shaking with anger. The Veltari Empire had attacked the human colony of New Busan without any warning. They had used plasma bombs to destroy the entire planet. Over 2 million humans were dead, including women and children. "My sister lived there," Taeho said quietly. His voice was full of pain. Jiwoo had moved to New Busan 3 years ago to start a family. Now she was gone, along with everyone else on that world. So-Young put her hand on his shoulder. "I'm sorry, Captain." The Veltari claimed it was a demonstration. They wanted to show other minor species what happens when they resist Veltari expansion. Chief Engineer Woo Jin Choi came onto the bridge. He was a big man with oil stains on his uniform. "Captain, I heard about New Busan. The crew is asking questions. What are our orders?" Before Taeho could answer, the main screen lit up. "Admiral." Dongmin Park appeared from Earth Command. His face was hard as stone. Behind him, Taeho could see other human military leaders. They all looked angry. "Captain Kim," the Admiral said, "the Veltari Empire has made a grave mistake. They think humans are weak because we don't have energy shields or plasma weapons like them. They think our kinetic weapons and armor plating are primitive. Today we will show them how wrong they are." Taeho straightened up. "What are your orders, sir?" "The Thunderstrike will jump to Veltari space. You will engage their fleets and show the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. Our intelligence says they have never faced human military tactics. Use that advantage." So-Young stepped forward. "Sir, the Veltari have hundreds of ships in their border systems. We'll be outnumbered." Admiral Park smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "Commander Lee, human ships are built differently than alien vessels. We don't rely on shields that can fail. Our armor can take punishment that would destroy any alien ship. Our railguns fire solid metal projectiles at incredible speeds. Our missiles carry nuclear warheads, not plasma charges." He paused and looked directly at Taeho. "Captain, your ship represents everything humanity has learned about warfare. We build our weapons to kill efficiently. We build our armor to protect absolutely. The aliens have forgotten how to fight real wars because they've been bullying weaker species for too long." Lieutenant Heejin Nam, the communications officer, spoke, up from her station. "Captain, I'm picking up alien chatter on the quantum channels. The Veltari are calling the New Busan attack a minor police action. They're laughing about it." Taeho's anger grew stronger. These aliens thought human lives meant nothing. They killed his sister and millions of others just to make a point. It was time to make a point back. "Admiral," Taeho said, "the Thunderstrike is ready for combat. We'll show the Veltari what happens when they attack innocent humans." "Good," Admiral Park replied. "Remember, Captain, you're not just fighting for revenge. You're fighting to show every species in the galaxy that humans will not be pushed around anymore. The age of alien dominance is ending." The transmission ended. Taeho turned to his crew. The bridge was quiet except for the humming of the ship's massive fusion reactors. Every person there had lost someone on New Busan, or knew someone who had. "Woo Jin," Taeho called. "How are the reactors?" "Running at full capacity, Captain. I can push them beyond rated limits if needed. This ship was built to take punishment and keep fighting." So-Young, prepare the weapon systems. Load the railguns with tungsten rounds and arm all missile tubes with nuclear warheads. "Yes, sir. The targeting computers are online. Our weapons are designed to penetrate alien shields and armor." "Hi, Jin. Set course for the Calthera system. That's their main border defense position. Course plotted, Captain. Jump drive is charging. Tejo walked to the center of the bridge and activated the ship-wide communications. His voice echoed through every corridor and room of the massive warship. Crew of the Thunderstrike, he began. Today we go to war. The Veltari Empire destroyed New Busan and killed our people. They think humans are weak. They think our technology is primitive. They think we will do nothing. He paused, letting his words sink in. They are wrong. This ship carries the best of human engineering. Our armor is thicker than anything in the galaxy. Our weapons hit harder than alien plasma. Our reactors burn hotter than alien fusion cores. But most importantly, we fight for each other and for every human who cannot fight for themselves. The crew cheered through the ship. Tai-Ho could hear their voices echoing in the corridors. The aliens have ruled the galaxy for thousands of years, he continued. They have forgotten what it means to face an enemy that fights back with everything they have. Today, we remind them. Today, humanity shows its strength. Wu Jin called. Out from his station. Jump drive at full charge, Captain. So Young, are all weapons ready? All systems green, Captain. We're ready for war. Tae-Ho sat in his command chair. The ship shuddered slightly as the jump drive activated. In a few minutes, they would arrive in enemy space. The Veltari would be waiting with their fleet of elegant ships and energy weapons. Jump in 3, 2, 1, Heejin announced. The stars outside changed as the Thunderstrike jumped through hyperspace. When they emerged, they would face the first real test of human military power against a galactic empire. Tae-Ho thought about Jiwoo and all the innocent people who died on New Busan. The aliens would pay for what they had done. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity was not a minor species anymore. The Thunderstrike dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Calthera system. Immediately, alarms began sounding on the bridge. The tactical display showed what they were facing. 200 Veltari warships arranged in a defensive formation around the system's main trade station. Commander So-Young Lee stared at her screens. Captain, their fleet is massive. I count 50 dreadnoughts, 100 cruisers, and 50 destroyers. They're all armed with plasma cannons and protected by energy shields. Captain Tae-Ho Kim studied the enemy formation. The Veltari ships were beautiful, with smooth curves and bright energy fields around them. They looked like works of art compared to the brutal, angular design of the Thunderstrike. But Tae-Ho knew looks could be deceiving. Hyejin, are they trying to communicate with us? He asked. Lieutenant Hyejin Nam checked her console. Yes, Captain. The Veltari Admiral wants to talk. His name is Zefkala. Put him on screen. The main display showed a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms. His eyes were large and black, and he wore an elaborate uniform covered in medals. When he spoke, his voice was full of arrogance. Human vessel, Admiral Zefkala said. I am impressed that your primitive species managed to find our system. However, you have made a serious mistake. You are facing the Calthera Defense Fleet, the pride of the Veltari Empire. Surrender now and we will destroy your ship quickly. Tae-Ho stood up from his command chair. Admiral Zefkala, I am Captain Kim of the UES Thunderstrike. You attacked our colony at New Busan and killed innocent civilians. We are here to make you pay for that crime. The alien laughed. 1 ship against 200? Your species is even more foolish than we thought. Your kinetic weapons cannot penetrate our shields and your primitive armor will melt under our plasma fire. We'll see about that, Tae-Ho replied. He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. All hands, prepare for battle. This is what we trained for. Chief Engineer Woo Jin Choi's voice came over the intercom. Captain, reactors are at 100%. I can push them to 120% if you need more power. Do it, Tae-Ho ordered. So-Young, target their command ship first. Load armor-piercing rounds in all railguns. Targeting systems locked on. So-Young confirmed. All weapon systems are ready. The Veltari fleet began moving toward the Thunderstrike. Their ships spread out in a classic alien battle formation, a wide line meant to surround the enemy and attack from all sides. It was the same tactic they had used for thousands of years against other species, but humans fought differently. Hyejin, Set course directly for the center of their formation. Maximum speed, Tejo commanded. Captain, that will take us straight into their plasma fire, So Young warned. Exactly. They expect us to keep our distance and trade shots like other alien species do. Instead, we're going to charge right through them. The Thunderstrike's engines roared to life. The massive human warship accelerated toward the Veltari fleet like a bullet. The aliens were confused by this tactic, their communications channels filled with surprised chatter. All ships, concentrate fire on the human vessel, Admiral Zefkala ordered. The Veltari fleet opened fire. Hundreds of plasma beams struck the Thunderstrike's armor. The ship shook from the impacts, but the thick tungsten steel plating held. The energy weapons that could destroy other alien ships barely scratched the human vessel. Armor holding it, 98%, Wu Jin reported. Their plasma can't penetrate our plating. Return fire, Tejo ordered. The Thunderstrike's railguns spoke with thunder. Solid tungsten rounds accelerated to incredible speeds punched through Veltari energy shields like they were made of paper. The first salvo destroyed 3 alien dreadnoughts instantly. The Veltari had never faced weapons that could ignore their defensive technology. Impossible. Admiral Zefkala gasped as he watched his ships explode. The human ship continued its charge into the alien formation. As it passed through, the Thunderstrike's missile tubes opened fire. Nuclear warheads streaked toward Veltari, vessels each one carrying enough destructive power to level a city. The aliens tried to shoot down the missiles with their point defense systems, but human weapons were designed differently. The missiles moved faster and in larger numbers than anything the Veltari had seen before. Their defense systems were overwhelmed. Nuclear fire bloomed in space as the warheads detonated against alien hulls. Ship after ship disappeared in bright flashes. The elegant Veltari vessels, built for beauty as much as function, could not withstand the brutal efficiency of human warfare. Enemy fleet is breaking formation, So Young reported. They're trying to retreat. Don't let them escape, Tejo ordered. Target their engines. The Thunderstrike spun around and began hunting the fleeing aliens. Its weapons systems, designed for maximum damage rather than elegance, systematically destroyed one enemy ship after another. The human vessel moved like a predator among prey. In the space of 12 minutes, the battle was over. 67 Veltari ships were destroyed, and dozens more were crippled and drifting. The remaining vessels fled into hyperspace, abandoning their positions and their wounded. Admiral Zefkala's command ship was heavily damaged but still intact. His bridge was filled with smoke and sparks. Many of his crew were dead or injured. This is impossible, he whispered. How can one primitive ship defeat our entire fleet? On the Thunderstrike's bridge, the crew was celebrating. They had just won humanity's first major space battle against a galactic empire, but Tai-Ho remained focused. He-Jin, record a message and broadcast it on all frequencies, he ordered. Ready, Captain. Tejo looked into the camera. His face was serious but not cruel. This message goes to all Veltari forces and any other alien species listening. Humanity will no longer tolerate attacks on our colonies or our people. We tried to live peacefully in the galaxy, but you forced us to show our strength. He paused, letting his words sink in. This battle was not about conquest or dominance. It was about justice for the innocent people you killed at New Busan. Every species in the galaxy has the right to exist without fear. If you threaten that right, you will face the consequences. The message was transmitted across the galaxy through quantum communication networks. Within hours, every major power would know that humanity had arrived as a military force. The age of alien dominance was beginning to crack. Wu-Jin, damage report, Tejo asked. Minor damage to outer armor plating, Captain. All systems are functioning normally. We're ready for the next engagement. So Young, plot a course deeper into Veltari space. We're not done yet. Yes, sir. The next major system is Velthanos. Intelligence reports it's heavily fortified. Tejo nodded. The Veltari had to learn that actions had consequences. Every alien species in the galaxy needed to understand that humans would fight back when attacked. The Thunderstrike turned toward its next target, leaving behind the wreckage of the Kelthera defense fleet. In 12 minutes, One human ship had achieved what no other species had done in centuries. It had broken a major empire's battle line. The galaxy was beginning to tremble. The news of the Kelthera battle spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. On Nexus Prime, the capital of the Galactic Council, emergency meetings were being held in the Great Crystal Chambers. Representatives from the three major powers, the Veltari Empire, the Crystalline Hegemony, and the Voidwalkers, demanded immediate action. "This cannot be allowed to continue," declared High Counselor Velandra of the Crystalline Hegemony. Her crystalline body glowed with anger. "If other minor species see that humans can defeat a major fleet, they might rebel against our authority." Shadow Speaker Morgoth of the Void Walkers agreed. His dark energy form pulsed with concern. "The humans use weapons we do not understand. Their tactics are unlike anything we have seen. This threatens the natural order of the galaxy." But in the depths of space, Captain Tae-Ho Kim was not thinking about galactic politics. The Thunderstrike was approaching the Velthanos system, home to 12 billion Veltari civilians and the Empire's largest military fortress. His crew had been fighting for weeks now, moving from system to system and destroying Veltari fleets. "Captain," Commander So Young Lee called from her station, "long-range sensors are picking up massive defensive installations around Velthanos. I count over 300 orbital weapons platforms and 500 ships." Dr. Yoon Soo-han, the ship's xenobiologist, looked up from her research station. She had been studying intercepted alien communications for days. "Captain, I've been analyzing Veltari military transmissions. They're terrified. They keep asking how our weapons work and why their shields are useless against us." Tae-Ho nodded. Human kinetic weapons were something the galaxy had never seen before. Most alien races had developed energy weapons and shields thousands of years ago. They had forgotten about simple, brutal projectile weapons that could punch through any defense. "What else have you learned from their communications?" he asked. Dr. Han's face grew serious. "Captain, I've discovered something disturbing. The three major powers have been systematically destroying or enslaving minor species for centuries. They call it galactic management. Any species that shows signs of advanced technology or independent thought is eliminated." Chief Engineer Woo Jin Choi joined the conversation. "That explains why they attacked New Busan. They saw humans developing space travel and decided to crush us before we became a threat." "They made a mistake," Tae-Ho said grimly. "They should have tried diplomacy. First, the Thunderstrike entered the Velthanos system and immediately faced the largest enemy force they had encountered yet. The orbital defense platforms opened fire with massive plasma cannons. The Veltari fleet moved to surround the human ship, using the same tactics that had worked against other species for millennia. But once again, human military doctrine proved superior. Instead of fighting in open space, Tae-Ho ordered the ship into the system's asteroid belt. The massive human vessel used the space rocks for cover, something the elegant alien ships could not do as effectively. "They're trying to flush us out. With their smaller ships," So Young reported. 50 destroyers are entering the asteroid field." "Perfect," Tae-Ho replied. "Launch all fighter drones." The Thunderstrike carried something no alien ship possessed: dozens of unmanned combat drones. These small, fast fighters swarmed among the asteroids, using their advanced AI systems to outmaneuver the alien destroyers. Each drone carried nuclear-tipped missiles designed specifically for ship-to-ship combat. Major Kyung-Ho Shin, commander of the ship's marine force, watched the battle from the tactical center. "Captain, the aliens don't know how to fight in confined spaces. Their ships are too big and clumsy for asteroid field combat." The battle raged for hours. Human drones destroyed Veltari destroyers, while the Thunderstrike used its railguns to pick off larger targets. The alien fleet, designed for traditional space combat, could not adapt to human tactics fast enough. When the Thunderstrike finally emerged from the asteroid field, over half the enemy fleet was destroyed or disabled. The remaining ships retreated to the planet's surface, hiding behind the orbital defense platforms. "Captain," Hee-Jin called from her communication station, "the Veltari planetary governor is requesting a ceasefire. He says the planet has 12 billion civilians." Tae-Ho studied the tactical display. The orbital platforms could still fire on his ship, but he had enough firepower to destroy the entire planet if he wanted to. The thought made him feel sick. This was not why he had become a soldier. So young, can we target just the military installations without harming civilians? It will be difficult, Captain. The platforms are integrated with the civilian infrastructure. Any attack will cause massive casualties. Dr. Han spoke up. Captain, I've been monitoring civilian communications from the planet. The people are terrified, but they're not our enemy. Many of them oppose the attack on New Busan. Taeho made his decision. Target only the orbital weapons platforms. Use precision strikes. I want 0 civilian casualties. Sir, that will take much longer and expose us to more enemy fire. So Young warned. I don't care. We're not murderers like them. The Thunderstrike began a careful, methodical assault on the military targets. Each shot was precisely calculated to destroy weapons platforms without damaging civilian areas. It was dangerous and difficult, but it showed the galaxy something important. Human military power came with honor and restraint. After 6 hours of precise bombardment, the last orbital platform was destroyed. The planet's defenses were gone, but the cities below were untouched. Across the galaxy, other species watched in amazement. Never before had they seen such controlled use of overwhelming force. Captain, Dr. Han reported excitedly. I'm intercepting communications from dozens of minor species. They're calling us the Honorable Warriors. Some are even asking if we need allies. But their victory came with a price. Deep in Veltari space, Emperor Thekamos was meeting with his military commanders. The ancient ruler's face was twisted with rage as he watched reports of human victories. Activate the World Breaker, he commanded. His generals were shocked. Your Majesty, the World Breaker has never been tested. It could destroy entire star systems. Then we will test it on Earth, the Emperor replied coldly. These humans think they can humiliate the Veltari Empire. We will show them the price of defying us. The World Breaker was the Empire's ultimate weapon, a massive ship designed to crack planets in half. It had been built in secret over decades, meant to be used only in the most desperate circumstances. On the Thunderstrike, Lieutenant He Jin Nam was monitoring long-range communications when she detected something alarming. Captain, I'm picking up encrypted Veltari transmissions. They're moving something very large toward Earth's solar system. Taeho felt a chill run down his spine. How large? The energy signature is unlike anything I've seen before. It's bigger than our entire fleet. Dr. Han quickly analyzed the data. Captain, based on these readings, they're deploying a planet-killer weapon. If it reaches Earth... Taeho didn't need her to finish. His homeworld and billions of humans were in danger. The Veltari were willing to commit genocide rather than admit defeat. Hyejin sent an emergency message to Earth Command. Warn them about the World Breaker. Already done, Captain. Wu Jin looked up from his engineering station. Captain, if we push the engines to maximum, we can intercept that weapon before it reaches Earth. But we'll be facing it alone. Taeho looked around at his crew. They were tired from weeks of constant battle, but their faces showed determination. They knew what was at stake. Set course for Earth, he ordered. Maximum speed. The Thunderstrike turned away from Velthanos and began the long journey home. Behind them, the Veltari fleet regrouped, but they were no longer the hunters. They had become the hunted. The galaxy was watching as one human ship raced to save its homeworld from annihilation. Admiral Dongmin Park stood in Earth Command's war room, staring at the tactical display that showed the approaching threat. The Veltari World Breaker was still 3 days away, but its energy signature was growing stronger every hour. It was the largest artificial object the human sensors had ever detected. Sir, called Commander Jun Seo Park, the Admiral's aide. We're receiving an encrypted transmission on an unknown frequency. The sender claims to be from something called the Remnant Coalition. Admiral Park raised an eyebrow. Put it through. Dear. Main screen flickered, then showed 2 alien beings unlike any humans had seen before. One was an insect-like creature with multiple eyes and chitinous armor. The other appeared to be made of pure light energy, constantly shifting and glowing. Greetings, Admiral Park, the insectoid spoke with a clicking voice. I am Queen Zithara of the Kythera Hive. This is Sage Valandor of the Lumina Collective. We represent 43 species that have been hiding from the major powers for centuries. The energy being's voice was like music. Admiral, your species has done something we thought impossible. You have shown that the major powers can be defeated. We offer our alliance. Admiral Park was skeptical. Why should we trust you? How do we know this isn't a trap? Queen Zithara's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Because, Admiral, we have been preparing for this war for over 200 years. We have ships, weapons, and knowledge that your species needs. In return, we ask only for the chance to fight alongside you. Sage Valandor added, the three major powers, the Veltari, Crystalline Hegemony, and Voidwalkers, have been systematically destroying species like ours for millennia. They allow only those who serve them to survive. Your Captain Kim has shown that resistance is possible. Meanwhile, in deep space, the Thunderstrike was racing toward Earth at maximum speed. Captain Taeho Kim sat in his command chair, watching the tactical display that showed their enemy's approach. The World Breaker was massive, over 50 kilometers long and bristling with weapons designed to crack planets. Commander So-Young Lee had been unconscious for 2 days after being injured during their escape from Velthanos. A Veltari boarding party had managed to get onto the ship, and she had fought them hand-to-hand in the corridor outside the bridge. Sergeant Bo-Ram Yoon, their combat medic, had saved her life using human medical techniques that alien doctors said were impossible. How is she? Taeho asked as he visited So-Young in the medical bay. The alien plasma burned through her armor and damaged her internal organs, Bo-Ram replied. But human medicine has advantages that aliens don't understand. We don't rely on energy healing or nanotechnology. Sometimes old-fashioned surgery and determination work better than fancy alien science. So-Young opened her eyes weakly. Captain, did we save the civilians on Velthanos? Yes, Taeho assured her. 0 civilian casualties. The galaxy noticed? Good, she whispered. That's what makes us different from them. Dr. Yoon-Soo Han entered the medical bay carrying a datapad. Captain, you need to see this. I've been analyzing the communications traffic from across the galaxy. Our actions have started something incredible. She showed him the data. Minor. Species from dozens of worlds are broadcasting human tactical manuals. They're building weapons based on our designs. Some have even started attacking Veltari outposts. Taeho was amazed. A rebellion? More than that, Captain, it's a revolution. The major powers have ruled through fear for so long that they forgot what happens when that fear disappears. We showed the galaxy that they can be beaten. Chief Engineer, Woo Jin Choi's voice came over the intercom. Captain, you need to get to the bridge, we've got company. Taeho rushed to the bridge to find the tactical display showing multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace around them. For a moment, he thought they were under attack, but then he saw the identification signals. Captain, Lieutenant Hai Jin, Nam reported with excitement. It's Captain Mireille Kang and the UES Stormbreaker, along with 12 human cruisers. Earth Command sent reinforcements. The main screen showed Captain Kang, a stern woman with short black hair and determined eyes. Taeho, good to see you're still in one piece. Admiral Park sends his regards and a message. You're not facing the World Breaker alone. Mireille, it's good to see friendly faces. But I count only 13 ships. The World Breaker has an escort fleet of over 200 vessels. Captain Kang smiled. Check your long-range sensors. Hye Jin worked her controls, then gasped. Captain, I'm detecting multiple hyperspace signatures. Hundreds of them. Ships of unknown design are approaching our position. The space around the human fleet suddenly filled with vessels unlike anything they had ever seen. There were ships that looked like living insects, others made of pure crystal, and some that seemed to be constructed from starlight itself. All of them were broadcasting friendship codes. Queen Zithara's voice came over the communication system. Captain Kim, the Kythera Hive stands with humanity. as do the Lumina Collective, the Iron Brotherhood, the Songweavers, and 40 other species. Sage Velandor added, "We have been watching your battles, Captain. You fight with honor even when facing overwhelming odds. This is why we choose to follow you into war." Tejo looked around his bridge at his amazed crew. In a matter of minutes, their small fleet had become a massive alliance of species that had been hiding in the shadows for centuries. Dr. Han was working frantically at her station. "Captain, I'm analyzing the Allied fleet composition. These ships use technologies we've never seen before. Some manipulate gravity, others use quantum tunneling weapons, and a few seem to exist partially in other dimensions. What the major powers forgot," Captain Kang explained, "is that the minor species they've been oppressing never stopped developing technology. They just learned to hide it." Major Kyung-ho Shin joined them on the bridge. "Captain, my Marines have been talking to the alien soldiers. Many of their species were nearly wiped out by the major powers. They're not just fighting for freedom, they're fighting for revenge." The combined fleet, over 800 ships from dozens of species, formed a battle formation around Earth. The Worldbreaker and its escort were still approaching, but now they faced not just humanity, but an alliance of every oppressed species in the galaxy. "Admiral Park wants to speak with you," Heejin reported. Admiral Park appeared on screen, and behind him stood representatives from dozens of alien species. "Captain Kim, Earth Command has agreed to form the United Galactic Defense Force. You are hereby promoted to Admiral and given command of the Allied fleet." Tejo was shocked. "Sir, I'm just a ship captain. I don't know how to command a fleet this large." Queen Zithara's image appeared beside Admiral Park. "Admiral Kim, you have already proven your leadership. You showed the galaxy that the strong can protect the weak without becoming oppressors themselves. That is why we follow you." The tactical display updated to show the approaching enemy. The Veltari Worldbreaker was accompanied by ships from all three major powers. The Crystalline Hegemony had sent their geometric dreadnoughts, and the Voidwalkers had deployed their shadow fleets. It would be the largest space battle in galactic history. "All ships, this is Admiral Kim," Tejo announced to the fleet. "In a few hours, we will face an enemy that has ruled the galaxy through fear and oppression for thousands of years. They believe that might makes right, that the strong should dominate the weak." He paused, looking out at the stars where hundreds of Allied ships waited. "Today we prove them wrong. Today we fight not for conquest or dominance, but for the right of all species to live free. Today we end the age of galactic tyranny." The Allied fleet roared its approval across dozens of communication channels. The final battle was about to begin. The space around Earth became a battlefield like no other in galactic history. Over 3,000 ships from the three major powers faced 800 vessels of the United Galactic Defense Force. But Admiral Tejo Kim had learned the most important lesson of warfare. Never fight fair when innocent lives are at stake. The Veltari Worldbreaker hung in space like a mechanical moon, its planet-killing weapons charging with deadly energy. Emperor Thakamus himself was aboard the massive vessel, determined to personally oversee humanity's destruction. "All ships begin the attack," the Emperor commanded. "Show these primitives the power of true civilization." The combined fleet of the major powers opened fire. Plasma beams, quantum disruptors, and void cannons filled space with deadly energy. But the Allied fleet was ready. The minor species had spent centuries developing defensive technologies in secret. The Kythera ships spun silk-like barriers that absorbed energy weapons. The Lumina vessels became pure light, passing through solid projectiles. The Iron Brotherhood deployed shields made from collapsed matter that could withstand any attack. "Incredible," Commander So-Young Lee whispered from her station on the Thunderstrike's bridge. She had recovered enough to return to duty, though she still moved carefully. "Their defensive systems are unlike anything in our databases." Admiral Kim watched the battle unfold on his tactical display. "Dr. Han, what have you learned about their technologies?" Dr. Yun-Soo Han looked up from her research station, her face excited. "Admiral, each species developed different solutions to survive against the major powers. The Kythera use biological technology. Their ships are actually living creatures. The Lumina learned to manipulate light and energy. The Iron Brotherhood masters gravity and matter. Chief Engineer Wu Jin Choi's voice came over the intercom. Admiral, the alien defensive systems are incredible, but they need time to recharge. We should coordinate our attacks with their defense cycles. Captain Mi-Ray Kang's image appeared on the communication screen. Taeho, my cruisers are ready to begin the breakthrough maneuver. The Stormbreaker will lead the charge against their command ship. Negative, Mi-Ray. I'll take the Thunderstrike in first. If anyone's going to ram that monster, it should be me. Major Kyung-Ho Shin stepped forward. Admiral, my Marines have been working with the alien warriors. They're ready to board enemy ships using combined tactics. Human soldiers with alien technology support. The battle raged for hours. Human kinetic weapons punched through alien shields, while the minor species used their exotic technologies to confuse and disable enemy systems. But the Worldbreaker remained untouched, protected by layers of energy barriers and escort ships. Emperor Thekamos grew frustrated as he watched his fleets being destroyed by species he considered inferior. Activate the Worldbreaker's primary weapon. If we cannot defeat them in battle, we will destroy their homeworld. The massive planet killer began charging its main cannon. Energy readings spiked as the weapon prepared to fire a beam that could crack Earth like an egg. The Allied fleet tried desperately to break through the enemy lines, but there were too many ships protecting the Worldbreaker. Admiral, Queen Zithara's voice came over the communications. Our fleet cannot reach the Worldbreaker in time. Earth will be destroyed in 90 seconds. Taeho looked around his bridge at his crew. They had come so far and fought so hard, only to watch their homeworld die. Then he noticed Dr. Han working frantically at her station. Admiral, she called out, I've discovered something about the major powers' weapons. They all use quantum frequency targeting systems. But human technology operates on different frequencies that naturally disrupt their targeting. What does that mean? Taeho asked. It means their superweapons can't lock onto us properly. If we get close enough, we can disrupt the Worldbreaker's targeting system and cause a feedback loop. Wu Jin understood immediately. A feedback loop in a weapon that powerful would destroy the ship from the inside. Taeho made his decision. All ships, concentrate fire on the escort fleet. Create a corridor for the Thunderstrike. Sir, So Young protested. That's a suicide mission. Even if you disrupt their weapon, the explosion will destroy our ship too. Maybe, Taeho replied. But Earth will survive. That's what matters. The Allied fleet threw everything they had at the enemy escort ships. Kithara bioships released swarms of living fighters. Lumina vessels became blinding stars that confused enemy sensors. Iron Brotherhood ships created gravity wells that crushed Veltari cruisers. A narrow corridor opened in the enemy formation, leading directly to the Worldbreaker. The Thunderstrike accelerated to maximum speed, its armor glowing from enemy fire, but holding strong. 60 seconds until the Worldbreaker fires, Hyojin reported. 40 seconds to impact, So Young added. Emperor Thekamos watched the human ship approaching on his tactical display. Impossible. No species would sacrifice themselves for others. It goes against natural selection. But he was wrong. Humans had always been willing to sacrifice for those they loved. 20 seconds to impact, So Young called out. All hands brace for collision, Taeho announced. At the last moment, something unexpected happened. The Worldbreaker's targeting system began malfunctioning as Dr. Han had predicted. The quantum frequencies that controlled the weapon were being disrupted by the Thunderstrike's approach. The weapon is overloading, Dr. Han shouted. The feedback is cascading through their entire system. Instead of ramming the Worldbreaker, Taeho ordered the ship to fire everything they had at the weapon's charging chamber. Human railguns and nuclear missiles struck the overloading system at the exact moment of maximum instability. The explosion was visible from a dozen star systems. The Worldbreaker disappeared in a ball of plasma that consumed half the enemy fleet. Emperor Thekamos and his dream of galactic domination died in that fire, but the Thunderstrike survived. The ship's revolutionary design included escape systems that worked when everything else failed, because humans always planned for the worst. The crew was battered but alive. All enemy ships are retreating, Major Shin reported from the tactical center. The major powers alliance is broken. Across the galaxy, the news spread instantly. The three empires that had ruled for millennia were defeated by an alliance of species they had considered inferior. On 1,000 worlds, oppressed peoples rose up against their rulers. 6 months later, Admiral Taeho Kim stood in the rebuilt Galactic Council chambers on Nexus Prime. The three former empires were represented, but they no longer controlled the government. Every species, major and minor, had equal representation. Queen Zithara approached him after the session. Admiral, the Kythera Hive wishes to thank humanity again. Our children will grow up free because of your courage. Sage, Philandor's energy form glowed brightly. The Lumina Collective has composed a song about this war. It tells how one species taught the galaxy that strength should protect, not oppress. Fleet Admiral Dong Min Park, promoted after the victory, joined the conversation. The new Galactic Defense Force is ready for its first mission. Ships from 47 species all working together. Dr. Han, now the Director of Xenological Studies, showed Taeho her latest research. Admiral, we've learned so much from our allies. Combining human engineering with alien technologies has created possibilities we never imagined. Captain So Young. Lee, fully recovered and now commanding her own ship, smiled at her former captain. The first class of mixed-species officers graduated yesterday. Humans, Kythera, Lumina, and dozens of others, all trained in combined tactics. Outside the great windows of the council chambers, ships from across the galaxy could be seen. Human vessels with their angular armor worked alongside elegant alien craft. The diversity was beautiful. Taeho thought about his sister Jiwoo and all the innocent people who had died on New Busan. Their sacrifice had not been in vain. The galaxy was a better place now, where all species could live without fear of oppression. What's our next mission, Admiral? Captain Kang asked as she joined the group. Exploration, Taeho replied. There are still unknown regions of space out there. Who knows what species we might find that need our help? Sergeant Bo Ram Yoon, now a lieutenant commander in the medical corps, added, and we'll be ready to help them. Human medicine combined with alien healing techniques has saved lives we never thought possible. As the sun set over Nexus Prime, the representatives of dozens of species worked together in the council chambers. The age of galactic tyranny was over. The age of cooperation and mutual respect had begun, and at the center of it all was humanity. The species that had taught the galaxy that true strength came not from the ability to destroy, but from the willingness to protect. The galaxy no longer trembled in fear. Now it trembled with hope.